There you go.
Oh, we're live.
And we're live.
Excellent, excellent. I am Baoku Duduyemi, and this is my beautiful and intelligent wife, Evelyn Duduyemi.
That's me.
That's right, it is you, absolutely.
And it's Marriage Mondays.
Marriage Monday.
Marriage Mondays.
So today we're going to talk about complementarity.
It is take the confusion out of complementarity, is what I think we made up for the title.
Yeah, take the confusion
out of complementarity.
I think that's a good title.
Mm-hmm.
You made that title?
I did.
Excellent, excellent. I knew there was something good about that title.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Complementarity. I'm gonna forego all the definitions.
Well, before we do that, though, before we go all the way in,
Uh-huh.
we have to tell people: are we licensed counselors?
No,
No, we're not licensed
we're not
counselors.
licensed counselors. We are coaches. I am an educational institute warrior, healer, builder, facilitator. It's a designation that I've earned over, I guess, a number of years now.
Mhm.
And my wife is a Queen Afua certified sacred woman practitioner and wellness coach.
So we are not counselors, we are coaches certified by our elders, and we're proud of that.
Absolutely. Certified by African folk. And we hope that you and whoever else will do similar and be certified by us or someone else in the future as well.
Now you can dive right in.
I can dive in?
You can.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I don't swim but so good, so I'm gonna do my best here.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm here with the lifesavers.
When we're talking about complementarity, we're talking about men and women today. I mean, the males and females, black males and black females. So when we talk about complementarity. And in a nutshell, we're talking about us, whether we're finding each other, whether we're coming together, being brought together to form these couples, these pairs, these unions, that in the end make something that is more vibrant, more beneficial for our families, for our businesses, for our folks, than it might be otherwise if we were separate. And so that's what we'll be talking about today. And one of the things that happens when you have a complementary relationship, when you've been brought to each other, in this case, I would like to say I found my wife. You could also say she found me. I think she knew a little more about the finding process and what she wanted, for herself than I did back then. And I would say I was more guided by the African spirit when I found this woman. Now the way we came together, and we learned that we were really a whole bunch different.
Tons different.
That didn't always bode well in communication.
Well, and when I'm looking here, as you all see me look down, I'm looking at the little notes that we made before we came on, and one of the ways that we capitalize on a difference, right? That we learn to capitalize on these differences. If you're going to say something else, then you can.
Like that.
Is I was thinking about this story, and I told this story. I realized I want to tell you all the story because I told this story so many times. In counseling women and counseling and coaching women, let me use the right word. In coaching couples, we need to buy a new car, right? The car that we had was 19 years old. It finally gave out. It's a great car, right?
Yeah, it was.
Finally gave out. So sad. We need to buy a new car. So we're trying to, we're find the car and all that stuff that you do, right? And we are the type that, we read everything that we sign, right? And one of the things that we learned how to capitalize on our complementarity a long time ago is both of us read everything.
That's right.
Right? And what happened then, when we know all the paperwork for this used Accord, we're reading through and I see, a problem in section 5. Do you know what I'm saying? Or whatever it was. And I say, hey, look at this. Bob didn't even see, he read it. He didn't even see that, right? He sees the problem in section 9. I read it. We're reading the exact same, we're literally passing the papers to each other. We're reading the exact same thing. And we're seeing things that the other person does not see, right? Which is fabulous, right?
That's right.
We save money doing this. We don't get into problems doing this, right? we avoid all sorts of dangers because one sees what the other doesn't see. It also means we can look at the exact same thing and see something different. I don't know if you understand what this cat says.
Absolutely.
Were you at the movie? Did we see this? What?
We didn't see the same movie.
Didn't see the same movie.
It's as simple as that. So you can obviously imagine, what happens when sometimes you don't read or see the same things, because we have expectations and stories we tell ourselves based on what we read, what we think we saw come across, what we hoped other people will see or we expected them to see, and it's just not like that. And sometimes that causes a little drama in the household. Now, some people want to know, why is that? Why do men think this way or women think that way, and why is it so different?
Well, I don't know what the answer you want me to give. Oh, that what he just gave downstairs?
That's right.
So actually, on the way up, when I was just checking out Facebook, someone posted something about, I think it was a woman who said something about, why do men think, right? And all I thought to myself, and I think I said out loud, was, because that's how God created us, so that we could take care of each other, so that we could see what the other person didn't see.
That's
right. So why? I don't know. I didn't make all the rules. And I know it's fantastic, right? I know in the end, in the middle, whatever, it is fantastic. And it can also be difficult.
Right, and that's enough about why. Unless you want to talk
No,
about
no, that's all. I don't have a why. My thing is, it's great until it's not great. And even when it's not great, it's still great because, you get the benefit. You get a benefit. You get a partner who sees things that you don't see.
And it's not always easy to see how great it is. It's not always easy to see how beneficial it is, especially when the times in your communication, the times in your relationship are at their worst. And it's just not, and it's hard to see how I, learned that I didn't have to, muscle all the furniture, inside of one room and to a next room. Because I'm a man, I could just come in and learn from my wife how she's going to put, some type of mat underneath a piece of furniture that I'd have trouble muscling around and easily slide that sucker across the room. You learn new skills, new tools, new ways of looking at things because of that complementarity. It's because of the things that you learned. You can learn it from most likely you learned it from your parents or their parents before them, and all that stuff. Most of our parents and grandparents learned the things they learned, in the context of where we're living, in the context of we'll call it the Maafa for short, in the context of the Maafa or oppression, and they came through us as ways of survival, as strategies to live this life that we're living here. And so they came as things that that we thought were important, that we tried to teach our kids were important or showed our kids were important by our actions. And so we think that that's just the way it is often. And we don't think about the other ways to look at it or how other tools or different tools might be used in a similar circumstance to either get the same or different result. And so that's one of the things we're talking about with complementarity, is identifying whether you're finding somebody, whether you're drawing to somebody that's different than you, that knows different things than you, and learning how to use those differences to benefit the whole.
Sure. So you want to tell the sharecropping versus blindness story?
Yeah.
Start on the sharecropping part at least.
That's right. Sharecropping. I know my grandmother was a sharecropper. She was from Mountain Bayou, Mississippi. I mean, people from Mississippi, you don't know where Mountain Bayou, Mississippi. But if you get a chance, I won't tell the stories here. Mountain Bayou was a beautiful place, all black community. We turned land that certain folks couldn't grow stuff on into food-bearing places, and we protected folks who came there politicking for us. And my mother's line is from Mountain Bayou, Mississippi. And one of the things that my grandmama learned in Mountain Bayou, Mississippi, was who to trust and who not to trust. You couldn't trust folks who would try to take advantage of you. She didn't like to borrow money from anyone. She didn't like to borrow services from anyone because it opened her up to people trying to take advantage of her and her family. And she wasn't going to allow that to happen. She was going to take life and all matters into her own hands. So we're going to grow the food we can grow. We're going to save over the winter. We're going to preserve. We're going to make sure that we have things that other folks don't have. We're not borrowing not a single dime from no one.
Or asking anybody for any help.
Not asking anybody for any type of help or support. Because again, that opens you up to other things happening, because that's what,
In the circumstances that she was in,
yes,
asking for support was an invitation to be taken advantage of.
that's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so some of those things that I'm talking about, that not asking for support, that not borrowing, it came down through my family line straight to me. And luckily for me, I was able to meet someone who had learned a different way of taking care of themselves inside of my home.
So my father woke up one day when he was 12 years old and he could see. And by that evening, he couldn't see at all. And he never saw again, right? So he went completely blind when he was 12 years old.
12 years old.
He ended up going to college, becoming an attorney, getting a MSW, being a specialized housing developer, all sorts of things, right? And one of the only ways he was able to do that was to ask for lots of support, right? To ask people to help all the time, to the point actually where he didn't really necessarily pay attention to, you know how you don't always ask everybody for everything? You kind of filter, am I really going to ask? He sort of swung so far in the other direction that he just asked everybody, for whatever he wanted, whenever he needed to have it from whoever had it, right? And so we're very different in that way, right? You have, don't ask for support. That's going to be dangerous for you. You have to ask for support all the time, or that would be dangerous for you, right? So we come together, and that could be and has been
very beneficial. So
right.
when the banksters, come to aggress upon us and take our home, it's a situation where I wanted to, see how I could myself think about how to get us out of this situation, and even though I had access to some people who had some more knowledge, more wisdom than I had in that area, what I had caught was to try to figure this out myself. So I'm doing my own research, and I'm trying to figure out what the best solution is, and it's taking time, like it normally takes, because that I've learned that to not worry as much about the time, given how I was taught to live, walk through this earth. And my wife, though, is very cognizant of the time. She's very cognizant of when support might be better gotten right now.
Let's ask these people, do you know that?
That's
we
right.
can call them. Why can't we? And I'm sure they can help. And let's get, right?
That's right.
And so we come together on that. We can have the best of both worlds, right? We can, and we have butt heads about it. Like we can argue about it too. And on our best days, we can have the best of both worlds, and we can actually look to each other for guidance, like depending on what the situation is. Do you know what I'm saying? Who is the expert? If it is a thing that we design, this is really a time we should actually work through some of this ourselves, right? And actually not ask for support quite yet, then I can lean on Baku for, okay, we're not going to ask for that. We're going to wait. We're not going to, you know what I mean? Because I get a little, right? If it is something that like, we need to ask for it right now, then he can lean on me for it. It's okay. It's all right to ask for support.
That's right.
And so we can get both things out of that.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's complementarity, the fabulousness of it.
And it's not always as fabulous as you might seem when you have those arguments over what seems like nothing. When you have those conversations where you can't seem to understand each other and get on the same page.
What are you talking about?
You just keep talking and talking, and hours go on and the days go on, and not days, just hours.
Well, it could be days over the same conversation over a period of days. We keep talking about this, and you are still not making any sense.
That's right, and it's hard to remember in those times that some of the same things that you really love and enjoy about a person and you get benefits from also cause the disagreements,
right,
that you have.
Because y'all weren't even watching the same movie.
That's right. At all.
So, of course, when it comes to, what was the movie about and what was it, because you weren't even watching the same one.
That's right. So there's going to be some healing involved for you to figure out how you can identify these people who are your complements. There's some healing involved so you can accept and work inside of, and then learn to use these conversations and these differences to have better conversations and to come with better decisions for your family, better decisions for your businesses, and help fight for our folks. So once you do that healing, then it becomes simpler. I don't like to say easy, because what we're doing is we're learning skills here to have a more useful and productive relationship.
It can become more joyful.
Right, more joyful. More
joyful. Not easier.
You learn what joy is. You learn to value different things than you had valued before. That's taken a long time. I can look at my wife now, and she'll do something now that makes me smile that 15 years ago I lost it.
Did lose it.
I see it differently now. I see the benefits, and I can find the joy in it. So I'm enjoying it.
And so here I am looking at my notes. So find the joy in it has to do with, and this is actually sort of leads into, I think it's week 3 we said was don't let Disney destroy your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
This idea that it's supposed to be easy all the time, right? The idea that love is not supposed to be hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard a lot of the time, and that's all right. You know what I'm saying? Because working through a lot of that stuff, working through a lot of those things is where so much of the growth and the healing comes.
That's
the other thing I wanted to, did we say about our stories?
Hold on a second.
Okay.
I want to hear what you have to
Go
say
ahead,
about
go
that.
aheid.
I like that last thing you said. I don't want to say it lightly.
What I said.
It's where most of the growth and healing
I believe that, yes.
Because it's something she tried to talk to me and convince me about, and I absolutely took it in the very first time that she told me.
They're grown, they can hear sarcasm. Go ahead.
Sarcasm. So it was counting over years, stuff kind of melts together. And so, but she's right. It's you learn things about yourself. You learn things about taking care of yourself and things about taking care of the other person, and to the best of your benefit as a whole. And that work is priceless. That work is priceless. If you find someone, not only is it priceless, it's detrimental to our survival. If you find someone who has the same skill set that you have,
that's right,
the same mindset that you have, you can live life and you can do glorious things until you run into a problem that neither one of you have the answer to. And watch everything fall apart.
The example we were given, we were talking the other day, was about our class difference.
That's right.
So when the money is just rolling, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. When the money does, I don't know how to just take $40, $50 to groceries. Didn't anyway. I learned.
You do
learn now. But just and then feed everybody. Oh no. So if neither of us did, do you know what I'm saying? If we both grew up at the same socioeconomic class, I mean, would we have starved to death? No. But would it have someone to say it's all right and we're gonna be fine and let me show you how to do this and and then get to the other side of it? No, right? So having these complementary skill sets is fantastic. Like I said, really important for our survival. And the more difficult things get, the more challenging times become, the more you want a partner who has skills, point of view that you don't have. Even though that means that you're going to be like, what are you saying?
That's right. And I want to piggyback on that, because these challenging times aren't happenstance.
That's right.
These challenging times are aggressions by other folks on us. And part of getting ready is finding partners, is finding people who can help you, traverse that terrain and help you build something that is going to be lasting for yourselves and for your families. And you need to have a partner. And sometimes it's scary to find someone who you butt heads with, who's going to challenge you and make you think about things you hadn't thought about before and do things in ways you hadn't done before. And it's just for the benefit of you and the benefit of all of us. So find those folks.
And find and celebrate the complementarity nature of the relationship that you may already be in.
That's right.
Right? So instead of avoiding those places, right, you can dive into those and grow in those places. Right?
And in a lot of cases, like with us, there were certain things that I was given in my growing up that trained me to stay in this relationship, to bear the fruits of all our work. And you need to find those things, not just you need to find those things and recognize them and recognize how.
It's an emergency
It's an
alert.
emergency alert.
There's a flood warning.
Flood warning.
I think we're going to be all right, except you want to turn it off. There we go.
Off.
All right.
Flood warning off.
Just in case your phone didn't tell you.
Exactly. Mine told me. So you have in a lot of cases been trained. You've caught a number of things that's going to help you get the most out of your relationship with someone who is your complement. You just sometimes have to recognize it so you can say, man, I'm glad that my dad used to talk to me for 2 hours at a time so that I could give that same type of
practice.
It was practice for me in my current relationship to give that same type of dedication to an existing conversation that I now actually want to be in and get the benefit out of. And so, things like that, finding out.
And that was one of my sort of how to navigate this, right? And I made a couple of notes on that. And one of them was that to allow you extra time, right, to talk about things. Because it's not going to be, it's going to take some time to get on the same page, to check and see if there's understanding. You know what I'm saying? We have a, show me understanding. The other person said, you know what I'm saying? Check and see if there's understanding. It's going to take more time than it would with someone who isn't your complement, someone who speaks more your own language. Do you know what I'm saying? I maybe have a conversation with my sister, because we already know what we're talking about. The same exact conversation with Bob, who is gonna, know that. And we have a thing where we'll be like, wait, no, I thought this was gonna be quick.
That's
and it's
right.
like, well, how long in the 23 years? When is the quickness?
It hasn't been quick.
When is it quick?
So you're going to have to learn how to have these conversations and get the dishes done. Have these conversations and go grocery shopping. Have these conversations and take these kids to school, to babysitter, to camp.
Right, weave it in.
Right,
it's part of the thing.
Right, it's part of what you do. And it's just like going to the gym. You got to get your exercise on. You got to build your muscles up so you can get the best out of yourself physically. It's the same with a relationship. You're going to get the best out of that relationship by working those relationship muscles until they're,
Which goes into next week, which is going to be, if it's broken, use tools to fix it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll talk more about that then, about building up those muscles and that sort of thing.
That's right.
Let me see if any of these.
What are all these things flying on the screen, by the way?
Those are when people are happy with what we're saying. Here, do it again, y'all, so we can see. Because Bob was his Facebook literacy is a little bit low.
This is true. I'm just saying.
So, but those are likes and loves and stuff that people were
doing. Okay.
Yeah, we're putting out there before, right? So that's what that was on the screen.
It's these little things and they float.
Yes, and they float up if someone clicks like or love. Let me look at we talked about the extra time. Any of these others that I feel like we didn't cover. The benefit, we definitely talked about that. See there, that's it. We talked about the benefit. This is the important one, right? And we're making it on this one. When you make your unilateral decisions, you rob yourself of all this complementary benefit. Right? So when one person says, I'm gonna, then you don't get the benefit of your complement's viewpoint. You don't get the benefit of them being like, ooh, look at paragraph number 9. Right? And so even though it takes more time and it takes more effort and it takes more, it really
takes more inquiry,
takes more all of that to come to consensus. It really, really is worth it, right? Because you get these benefits.
And that's not to say that you won't have certain things in your life that one person has more say over than the other. And you have given your say over to that other person because of their expertise, because of the time that they have or that you don't have, or whatever other agreements that you've made.
Right.
So you may have someone who does have, final say, or who you rely on.
That's who you're relying
expect to have those
I
decisions.
like rely on.
Rely on
right?
it, expect to make those decisions. And,
It's like Babu is a extraordinary, like Amazon, compare the which ones, especially in terms of electronics, but even with other things, which one of the things should we buy and how does it, I mean, fantastic, right? And then also figure out how to get it for 57 cents. I don't need to participate in that. Do you know what I'm saying? He's so good at it. Go ahead. We decided we needed a new whatchamacallit. Go ahead and get one, right? Now, I mean, if I participated, are there maybe some minor points that I could, yeah, I mean, because I see things differently. And we decided that's now how we're going to use our resources. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to use Mike Pass on that because he's so great at that, right? So sometimes you'll delegate, and that's different than a unilateral decision. I just wanted to point out that when you don't do it together, then you miss out on the benefits of complementarity.
That's right. And at the same time, to give my wife some props, if you see anything online, whether it's Homemade Joy or Kibole Bole Educational Institute or the Ace for Guest for Sovereignty work, or Evelyn, 99.67% of the time, that's Evelyn do the Yang, y'all.
And though I will say, I'll make the flyer. See, this is the other thing, right? I'll make the flyer. And sometimes I'm just good with it, and I'll do it, right? Other times, hey, look at this. And he's already like, you're great at it. I'm not really looking. Look at it. Be my compliment and look and see if you see something.
That's a quote.
I say that.
That's a quote.
I say that.
Along with the hitting and everything.
Well, you want to reenact it with accuracy.
You gotta make it real.
With accuracy. So, I think that's what we have about complementarity, y'all.
We got a lot more. We're not gonna,
Right, it's late. It's been a long day. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Everybody's got to get themselves ready to go to bed. And if you want more about this or any of the other topics, and also more personalized for you, I have put our information, phone number, and email address there in the description, right? So you can contact us for these coaching sessions that we offer to, premarital, marital, parenting. Those, that also some sister circles and brother circles will be happening soon as well.
That's right.
So that information is in the description. So like I said, you can email us. It's info@kibolebole. You can call me 404-964-8942. I know we're on Facebook. You might be tempted to direct message. I'm super slow with the DMs, y'all. Like it's super, super slow. So just go ahead and call me or text me or email us, and we will set a time to meet. Yeah?
That's right.
Happy Marriage Mondays.
Happy Marriage Mondays. What I say the other day?
I don't know. What do you say?
Milk your marriage.
Oh my gosh, milk your marriage Mondays. Bye, y'all. See, it's late. Got it. You know what I mean? You're getting tired. You know what I'm saying? We will see y'all in the comments.
I like when you mean it.